Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe's Classic Video Games back with another cool arcade repair video for you today. We have something really special today. We went to an auction, and if you don't know, Todd Tuckey has talked about this often. At auctions, all they do is sell broke stuff. So even if you get something that seems like it's working at an auction, it probably doesn't. Or something's wrong with it. But we go there knowing that, of course. And so we bought a broken Target Terror arcade game that we're going to try to fix. And then after we bought that, we bought another broken Target Terror arcade game at the same auction, sitting right beside each other. So we're going to try to fix both of them. Now, we might not be able to fix both of them on this video, but we can at least figure out what's going on with them. So this one here, they both have serial numbers on them. So this one is number 1160, and the TT27 means Target Terror 27-inch, which is the size of the monitor. And then this one over here, TT27, number 239. So this is serial number 239, and that one's serial number 1160. So we've got them back here in our workroom, and we're going to check them out. Now, a lot of times when you buy something at the auction, they don't even have all the parts in them. So it's very possible that there's stuff missing out of it. But here's the first one, number 237. Here's the side art. Looks pretty good. All right, let me show you the other side. Okay, looks pretty good. It's a little worn around the edges. You get stuff like that. But on this particular game, since there's so much going on, it looks good even if it's like that. Let's look at the front of it. Front's pretty decent. It's got some a number that they put on the front that we might be able to get off. It's got two good-looking guns on it. The control panel looks good. It's got a 27-inch monitor in it that you can't see right now. And here's the marquee. It's got some cracks in it. If you look, the heat from the lights will sometimes crack the marquee and make them look messed up. So that one's cracked. But on this one over here, marquee is in much better shape. But look, this one says Target Terror, and this one says Target Terror Gold. So, all right. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to crack the back door off this one and see what all's missing. The computer may not even be in it. It's like Christmas. What do you think is going to be missing? Huh? Joey's all smiling. What? It's like Christmas. They didn't even steal anything out of it for us. Wow.
I'm so used to everything being gone.
Yeah, so used to everything being gone. And this one actually has a computer in it. Well, should we open the other one?
Yeah.
Okay, let me show the sides first. All right, so here's the side art on this one. This one just says Target Terror. It doesn't say gold, but this one here, in my opinion, is in a little bit better shape. Well, no, it's not either. The artwork is, but not on the control panel. It's decent. Okay. This one has a bill acceptor in it. And the guns are probably savable. All right, Joe. Let's see here. What do you think, folks? Drum roll, please. Da-da-da! Also has the computer in it. Pretty freaking cool. So I think the most important thing is that parallel port dongle on the back of it, because without that, you ain't gonna get it to work. And then there's also that weird in-out board there that they run power with. There's an in-out board on the side of the cabinet. Okay, boy, I like that. Okay, so let's go back over to this one. What's that down in the bottom? There's a disk drive in the bottom. That's probably not good, but I see the DVD down in there. Yeah, buddy. Software. Very cool. Very, very cool. This one also has the in-out board on the side. So looks to me like two pretty much complete Target Terrors. Okay, so First thing we're going to do, which one you want to mess with? That one's got a better marquee, but this one, I'm going to do both of them. All right, so we're going to mess with this one first. So this is serial number 239, so this is an earlier one. Everything looks cool. It looks like that's like a Wells Garner D9200 monitor, if I was just going to guess. What do you think, Joe? Do you confer?
Yep.
Joe confers. Okay, and then on this one, also a Wells Garner, I think. There was a D9200 and a D9400, so one or the other. All right, so we're going to plug this one in first and see what kind of action we get. Okay, so we turned it on, nothing, and then we started looking. This isn't right. Look, they've got the degauss ring plugged into where the power is supposed to plug into. So there's some screwage going on. So here's what should be plugged in. Right there. We need to see, Joe, though, if that is the degauss ring or if that's for the
Coming right off there.
if that's for the yeah, that's degauss. I'm just making sure it's not the ground. You know, these sometimes the ground is like that.
No, the ground's plugged in.
Okay. All right, go ahead and fix it, Joe, and then we'll try it again. So that should move over. The power should go there. No way in hell this is going to work, but we're going to try it. Nothing out of the monitor. Nothing out of the computer either. Basically, whenever you plug it in, you get nothing. We checked the fuse right there behind the power where it plugs in, and it's fine too, so there's something else going on with the monitor. So then we turned on the computer, and you don't get any beeps, you don't get anything, but you do get power over on the in-out board now. So the computer is not cooperating yet. Or maybe it's completely up and playing, and we just can't see it because of the monitor. So this one has a bad monitor and a computer that's not doing its thing. We don't think. So we're going to jump over to the other one, serial number 1160, plug it in, and see what it's doing. Okay, so here's the second one. Number 1160, we pulled out the disk drive that was laying down on the bottom just to make sure it didn't short anything. The monitor is plugged in on this one, so go ahead, Joe. Nothing. Well, it's probably a good thing that it didn't power up, because I just noticed that the some of you probably already noticed it, but the heat sink has popped completely off the processor. So we're going to have to mess with that a little bit before we attempt it. Okay, so we need to get a working monitor. Maybe we can, I guess that CPU's in a little bit better shape. Maybe we can hook up a monitor to it and see what's going on. All right, so let's see what we want to do here. Okay, so here's the computer out of the first machine. When opening it up, it has a similar problem. The heat sink is loose, so that's not good. I don't know if they ran it like that or if it just busted in transport. You know, if they ran it like that, I'm sure the processor's probably fried, but and so you've got a BioStar N68S motherboard. Hard drive over here, which is still an IDE, I believe. Got a stick of RAM in it. I'm sure these are like, you know, problem childs that they put together for the auction. That's something from something. All right, yeah, so we're not we're not starting with much. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to look online and see what the original stuff was supposed to be in these and see if we can order any of that stuff or if we're just going to have to. Look at this. It looks like, yeah, the clamps broke. Well, hell, I don't want to turn it on again with that not clamped and pasted and all that good stuff. Yeah, see, so like the DVD drive isn't plugged in. So somebody's been doing some hackage, I believe. Lots of hackage going on. Okay, so I'm gonna look at the specs and see if I can find them and see what this thing originally would have been. Okay, calling all computer experts. You'll probably enjoy this. So you may not know, but on these older, well, on pretty much all the arcade games, they build in like security measures. So you can't just use anything because there's something in the software that will make it where it just won't work with different motherboards or different video cards and all of that stuff. So you kind of have to stay in parameters of how it was done originally. Now, I obviously don't know what I'm doing with CPU stuff. PC stuff. But if you do know what you're doing, maybe you would know that, well, there's no way they could lock out a different processor, or there's no way they can tell how much RAM's installed and all that. So all of that may be true, but whenever we fix up a game that's PC based, we kind of stick to what was in it originally, unless I can find definitive proof, somebody talking online or something that they swapped out this video card and it worked, or they added RAM and it made it work better. So pretty much we go with what was in it, right? So I pulled up this handy little chart here. So this chart shows the original variations of the hardware that was used. So I got it from visionamusement.com, by the way, but I think it originally came from Raw Thrills, which is the company that makes Target Terror. Now, Raw Thrills is still in business, so if you need any help, you can still get a hold of them. We actually bought a restore disc from them for Target Terror Gold a few months back, so they're cool. And if we run into a problem, they'll probably help us out. But they will not help you pirate stuff, though. But if you have an older game, they may be able to help you. So the first version of Target Terror that came out was just regular Target Terror, and we have one of those. And then one of our other ones is also Target Terror Gold, which was the last version that came out. I don't really know what the difference is, but maybe we'll do a video on the difference between the two. So the very first motherboard that came out, I should do the software first. So here's the different software that came out. So version 1.08b was the original release of Target Terror, and we've got that restore disk. So basically you can put a brand new hard drive in if you have the restore disk. As long as you have the security dongles on the computer, whenever you put the restore disk in, it will load the proper drivers and everything, and it'll load the software on the new hard drive or your corrupted hard drive, fix everything up, and you're good to go. So that restore disk is very important to have. So we have the version 1.08 restore disk. Now, I had bought the version 2.12 restore disk from them, so I've got both of those. There was also apparently a 1.38 version. I don't have that, but that's fine because we're not going to use that. Now, this is for the dedicated machines. They also had conversion machines, but I don't have any of those, so I'm going to stay away from those. But they use different motherboards. I would assume probably some of them are the same, but they use different stuff on the conversion boards. The conversion kits didn't have a computer case mainly, and the whole purpose of the conversion kit was to put in a JAMA arcade cabinet that was already wired up for JAMA. Well, on these Target Terror, they have the CPU connects to an in-out board that you saw hanging on the side of the cabinet, which connects to the guns and the coin switches, and that's how it interfaces with the other stuff in the cabinet. So anyway, version 1.08b. So looking in the cabinet, one of the systems, the one that had the older one that had the fan from the hard drive just laying on top of it, I mean the fan from the CPU just laying on top of it, is a MS6734 motherboard. Now, I know you're probably thinking, oh, God, it's so old. Oh, man, yeah, you got to put something newer than that in there. I could, but it's going to run us into problems with the software, right? So I have this original version of the software, but then I also have the last version of the software. So if you have this newer Target Terror Gold version, you can use a newer motherboard. But you need a special little security thing for it. It says C note here. There is a little USB dongle on the back of the game that you need for the newer one. So let me show you that real quick. So this is the back of the Target Terror Gold computer, not to be confused with the regular Target Terror board. So this is the regular Target Terror dongle. This is a security thing. So you attach this to the parallel port, and there's something in there that it needs for security. Apparently it's a pretty good way to do it too, because I've never heard of anybody cracking those damn things. You can take them apart and do whatever you want, but nobody ever cracks them, so I don't know. But then whenever they made it Target Terror Gold, they also gave you this little USB dongle. If I can get it out. If you look really close, it says TTG. So to run Target Terror Gold, you have to have this one that runs Target Terror and the old software. And then for the new software, you have to have this one also plugged in. And that's how you're able to run Target Terror Gold. If you don't have that, the game won't boot up or load or something. So that's how they did security on it. So my whole point is, I only have one of these dongles. So on both machines, I have two of these, but only one of these machines has both. So only this machine can be Target Terror Gold. So the other one, it has to be the older version of Target Terror. So we have to use an older motherboard for that. So for that older one, the only two motherboards, well, I guess there's 4 motherboards, but the only motherboards that will run version 1.08, which is the original one, which is one of those computers I only have that parallel port dongle for, is these ones here. So the one that I have is an MS6734. So I searched around trying to find extra motherboards, any of these 4, and haven't found any yet. But I'll bet there's some out there somewhere. I actually saw some that had sold on eBay fairly inexpensively, even some new ones, still in the box and everything, but I missed it because I'm looking tonight. I'm not looking a week ago. Okay, so we've got this one on the left, and it is a socket A motherboard, and it uses processor, it says CP-ASE 2500, but the one that we actually had in it was an Athlon AXDA 2500 DKV4D, right? Now the fan is laying on top of that thing sideways. So I have no clue if that motherboard works, but I haven't been able to find one yet. And I have no clue if that processor works. So what I did was I just went and bought another processor. They're $10 on eBay. So I ordered another one. So whenever it gets in, I'll at least have 2 processors I can mess with and a motherboard. I can look at capacitors and stuff like that. Okay, the fan looked good to me. It just wasn't clamped down. And I clamped it back down and everything was cool. It looked like it had just popped off, but something may have hit it. And, you know, if it broke something on those pins underneath that processor, I'm screwed. I'm screwed, people. But we'll see. So I didn't have to order a fan. It uses DDR RAM. 2 pieces, right? So it uses 256 megabyte RAM running at 333. You may be able to run faster, but again, like I said, I just go back with what it had in it. So I ordered 10 sticks of DDR RAM for like $10 or something. So I've got them coming. The CPU that's in there has no RAM in it right now. So obviously an operator was just parting it out, or that was all their junk that didn't work or something. It says video card no longer available, right? Because this would have been from Target, from Raw Thrills. So they're saying they don't have them for sale. But after digging around on the internet, I went to handy old Killer List of Video Games. If you don't know about that, you need to go check it out. And I figured out that the original video card was a GeForce 4 MX440 64 megabyte AGP 8X MS8917 version 1.0 Part number 5187-3705. That's an old school video card, very, very cheap. I ordered 3 of them. They were so cheap. So I ordered 3 of those. And from what I understand, that will work on the older ones, and it'll also work on the newer motherboards if the onboard video isn't working right. So I ordered 3 of them because we'll probably get more of these in the future. And right now, when they're $5, I think I'll go ahead and get some to stock up. It did have a video card in it, which was slightly different. This one may work fine. I don't know, but it was just like sitting in there. It wasn't even in the socket. So all of this could be screwed up. The motherboard could be screwed up. But everything, it's so old. Everything's so cheap. We can do all replacement stuff if we need to. So we're down to here, the video card. I've got the software, power supply. Well, you know, I've got power supplies, so if we run into a problem where the power supply is not working right or the fan's bad, we'll swap that. The computer case fans, the computer case we've got, and the DVD drive. I've got DVD drives. Okay, so I also ordered for the hard drive, I'm going to go ahead and try to make it an SD card. So I ordered some SD cards and some SD to IDE adapters that supposedly will work just fine. So we're going to try it and see if it'll take it. If it won't, I'll have to burn it on just a regular IDE hard drive. But we're trying to get where on all of our PC stuff, you know, we don't have to use spinning hard drives if we can help it, because the prices really come down on all of like the SD cards and all that. We already use compact flash on like Area 51, Golden Tee, a lot of that stuff. So, all right, so this was the old one. That's just a regular Target Terror. And then with the other one that's a Target Terror Gold, the one that we pulled out and put on the table, is this motherboard, MB-N68S Plus. It's a BioStar. Do I have that right? BioStar? I think I've got that right. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, so it's got that motherboard. The motherboard actually looks really good. It says that the processor is an SDH1200BOX, which is an AM2 processor. But looking at ours, they have put an AM3 processor in it. That is an SDX145HBK13GM, right? And it was the same thing. The fan was just sitting in there on top of it because the clamp had broke on the bracket, right? So I don't know if that processor's still good. So I ordered another one. They're $7. Big spender tonight. I also ordered a new bracket. It was $4. And then I ordered a stick of RAM just for the heck of it. This was in it, which it says is PC2 4200. Now you see on these other ones it's running either 2 sticks of 256 or 1 stick of 512. But the one that was in it, this is a 2 gig stick. So I've looked this exact one up, which is PC2 4200. Not positive what that means, but I guess it's just the specifications. So I looked it up, found this exact one, and this is a PC2 4200 2 gig stick. And so since they were $5, I went ahead and bought another one. So we've got a new processor, new RAM, a new fan clamp. I've got the software. We've got the SD card and the SD card adapter coming for the hard drive. Okay, we got in a few parts, so we're going to do this one first. I'm going to try to repair to replace the socket, the fan socket thing with a new one. So hopefully that's the right part. So I'll carefully take that out and remove the screws, and then we'll look at it and see what shape it's in. Okay, folks, so I had to pull the motherboard out because the plate, you know, goes under it too. So pulled it out. Here's what we're starting with. I'm gonna have to wipe that off and put some more thermal paste on it, of course. But everything looks pretty good. I don't see anything obviously wrong with it. The caps, you know, sometimes you'll get them where they're all ballooned up, but all of these look good at least. Who knows if they actually are? But I think we'll try putting the fan and everything on it and see if we can get it to do anything outside of the frame. So I'll put this new bracket on and we'll see what we got. So I mounted it all back in, and boy, I haven't used any of these newer computers, but the way that heatsink works is a lot better than the ones I'm used to. I don't really like the look of the frame though. Look at all this kind of stuff. Is that like moisture damage? See the rust down there? And so the reason I had to change this is because that piece was broke off. This, look at that. There's like grease or something on it, but on the bottom of the motherboard it looked fine, so I don't know. Whatever. I don't necessarily have high hopes, but you know I'm a very optimistic person. I also replaced the battery. Of course, it was dead. I always check them whenever I take them out, just so I can go, yep, I knew it. 0 volts. Should have known. So yeah, the battery was dead. Okay, so I screwed it back in. I hooked the power switch, the reset switch, and the hard drive LED back up. I plugged in our trusty test monitor. E-machines, that's the only way to go, people. Plugged it up. Let's see if we get anything. Oh, power switch. Let's see if we get anything. Seems good. It's a little slow, though. No beeps. Whoa! Man! It may actually still be working. I may have ordered that processor for nothing. There goes $6 I'll never get back. Okay, so I don't know much about this. Let's see here. Main processor, okay. Memory testing, okay. CPU, 0 memory information. DDR2 800, unganged mode, 1x64-bit, 2T, NVM, blah, 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 IDE channel 0, enslave. Of course, none of that's hooked up. SATA device. Floppy disk fell. CMOS, checksum error, defaults loaded. Warning, now system is in safe mode. Please resetting CPU frequency in the CMOS setup. Okay, yeah, so I need to go into setup. Inside the cabinet, it had a USB keyboard, which I've got right here. But I've never had one that USB works this early in, I don't think. But I'll try it. I'll try plugging it in and see if we can get into setup. Okay, yeah, so I've just plugged in the USB keyboard, and of course it took me right in. I didn't know that you could do that with USB. Okay, connect the PS2 or USB keyboard to the PC. Hold the delete key while turning the PC on the BIOS menu screen. Use the down arrow, scroll to power management. So all they're telling you to change is the power management stuff. Power off. After AC power lost. Power on by alarm. Power on function. Oh, here we go. Power on after power fail. On. Okay, and then let's go. What were they telling me before? Somebody was telling me on a comment that there's a quicker way to do this. Oh, that. February. Today is the February 13th. I think they were telling me that you could just type it in. Yeah. Thank you for whoever told me that. Okay. And it is getting late. It's 20:11. And it's probably halfway through the minute. save, but I don't have the hard drive hooked up. Let's see if it gives us the same thing about the floppy disk fail. Okay, that's cool. I don't know about the processor. I didn't set up, you know, it was saying something about set up the speed and everything, but I don't know what speed to set it on, so I'm just going to leave it. Okay, so I'm going to plug the hard drive in and see if that hard drive will boot. I don't know. Okay. It found the hard drive, but it says floppy disk fail. I think it must still be booting device after post. Let's see if that needs manipulated. Press F9. That didn't work. Delete. Channel 0 master. Okay. Why is it not telling me the... Oh. I was going to say, why isn't it telling me the DVD-ROM or the CD-ROMs? Because it doesn't have the power plugged in. Okay. What would this be under? Boot sequence and floppy setup. Hard disk boot priority. Okay, I think that would have been how it was. First boot device. CD-ROM. Second boot device. Hard disk. Third boot device. The way you update these is through the CD-ROM, so I'm going to leave that how it is. Okay, let's see if that does it. Could just be the hard drive's no good. But you'd think it wouldn't be able to tell it was there if it was still bad. Floppy disk fail 40. It ain't liking it, folks. Floppy disks fail 40. Okay. Well, let me try to figure that out. I know y'all are screaming at the screen what I'm supposed to do. But I don't know, man. I'm going to go see if I can figure it out, man. I'll be back in a minute, man. But you won't even have to wait. I'm just going to be the one struggling. You know, I filmed this probably a month and a half ago. Silly me. So I check for viruses on your computer. I had I turned off halt on errors, and I also told it that it had drive A as a 1.44 floppy or whatever it's called. And so I turned that off and told it that it wasn't installed. So now we've got the blue screen of death. Let's try to restart it. That hard drive, I'm sure, is screwed, but it's fine because we're going to make a new hard drive anyway. So I turned it off, which means that it's a power failure. Shouldn't it be coming on by itself now after I set it like that? Let's see what we get this time. Found the drive, internal hardware monitor, update success. Blue screen of the death. All right. Windows has been shut down to prevent damage to your computer. So I guess Target Terror runs on Windows. That's fun. Okay. So I'm going to plug up power to the DVD drive. And then I'm going to unplug the hard drive and see if we can create a hard drive with that little adapter thing. So here is our little hard drive thing. Boy, it looks cool. So you put the IDE cable here and your power here, and then the The little SD card goes in up here. And you know, whenever you buy a micro SD card, usually it comes with the adapter. So we have placed the card in the adapter inside here and then put power on it and the IDE cable. Now, I had to find a place. Matt was just informing me that this is like laptop size, which doesn't line up with any of the mounting holes on an IDE power supply. So what I did was, down way under here, there was a little screw hole, and I put the feet on the card, on the thing, the standoffs, so that it couldn't ground out to what's under it. And then one of the standoffs I was able to mount in the hole. It's nice and solid, but it's buried way down there underneath the DVD player. But everything's hooked up. Now, I also had to swap out the power supply because the other power supply fell apart. The toggle switch broke apart on me. That's fun. The fan wasn't moving on it anyway, but I did get it to move, but then the toggle switch fell apart, so it was time for it to go. So I've got a little bit stronger power supply, I guess, and that was the one in the other computer, and I ordered some other power supplies, so whenever they come in, we can fix that other computer. So I'm going to hook up a monitor to it, and we'll boot it back up, and I want to see if it even recognizes this little board as an IDE hard drive. If it does, we might be able to get it to work, so we're going to try it. Okay, so it is saying IDE channel 0 master. Hey, wait a minute, it's not showing me the DVD drive. Does that mean the DVD drive is not?
That is correct.
Damn it. We almost had it, folks. But it is seeing the 32 megabyte.
Well, it's already megabytes. So that's 32 gig.
Oh, yeah. Duh.
There you go.
I'm a moron. 32,000 megabytes would be, well, how many gigs?
That'd be
32 gigs.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so the original hard drive was supposed to be 20, so we just put a 32 gig SD drive in it, and it kind of, Matt, is your opinion that it thinks that's an IDE hard drive?
As far as I can tell, that is an IDE hard drive.
Matt says we're good, but now my damn DVD player isn't being recognized.
Are they?
But it never was. I never saw one.
Are they on the same channel?
Yeah.
Might be jumpers. The little master-slave jumpers.
Maybe. Let's see what it says. It's set up as a slave, buddy.
But is the master set up as master or single? There's a difference.
It doesn't say there's a way to change it. But before it was doing the same thing.
All right. Well,
It's always been doing it. I think maybe the DVD drive sucks. I guess I could try pressing the button. No, that wouldn't tell me anything. Okay, we're going to try another DVD drive. Okay, so we're getting there. First of all, we figured out this didn't work the way we wanted it to work. It can see this, but it can't see this and the DVD drive at the same time. So we found another DVD drive that we got to work. But it cannot see this as, there's no way to set this master or slave or anything, so it's always master, I would assume. And this, if you set it master, slave, or cable select, no matter where you plug it in, there's only one IDE cable. No matter where you plug it in, it cannot see this and this at the same time, which means it's impossible to update. So because of that, somebody's calling. Hey, if one of you was just calling to give me the help, I'm unable to answer the phone right now. So because of that, we can't use the DVD drive to update it. Matt's saying that we could probably use an external USB DVD drive, so we may try that in the future. But what we're doing for now is we're using it to update the hard disk that was blue screen of death. So we're going to go ahead and install it on that. And once I get that done, I'm going to make a copy of the IDE drive on the other computer. And then once I get that done, I'll burn it onto a freaking flash SD card, and then hopefully that will work. So we have to put a bunch more steps in it. But since right now it's installing the software, and this is what we're getting. If you have any interest in that. So we'll let it run a little bit, and I'll come back and show you what happens. Okay, so we have actually got it. We kept messing around and messing around. We've actually got it loaded, it looks like, on a IDE hard drive. So we're going to go put it in the cabinet and see if it connects, if it senses the I/O board, and then if it comes up and it's running, we will then see if we can figure out a way to copy the hard drive over to the SD card somehow. The main problem is the hard drive is 80 gig and the SD card is only 32 gig, and I have yet to be able to figure out how to make a bigger hard drive go on a smaller one, because most of that's just wasted space, I'm sure, but it looks like we might be getting somewhere, so we'll see if we can get it to boot up. So we've got to get our little solid state thing working, but the game is up and running, and we're still messing with the monitor, but we think we're going to be all right there too. So I'm going to keep messing with. I would love to just be able to plug the DVD-ROM in and have it burn right onto that as a hard drive, but it won't let both be on this at the same time. So the jury's still out on that, but I'll keep messing with it. All right, people, if you're still hanging on, it's a long video, I know. We're going to have to break it up and just abandon the other one for another video, but several days have passed, and I've been working on this thing and figuring things out, so now I know a little bit more about how it works. So first of all, you can't use an external USB disk drive to update the hard drive. Won't work. I tried it. I tried a bunch of different stuff, tried setting a different boot drive, had a computer guy that I know look at it a little bit. Basically, it will not do that. It will not run on a SATA drive either, even though it's got all of the inputs and everything, right? So it has to run on an IDE drive. Okay, if you plug in this little SD card, little Chinese thing, right? If you plug that in, it will no longer recognize the DVD drive. So basically, if you plug this in, you can't put the disk in and update and recreate the hard drive on that SD card. You could probably do it on I don't know. It's just it's old stuff, you know. So what I had to do was I had to put a old IDE hard drive in it. I put a 10 gig IDE hard drive in it, and I put the DVD drive on, and it created a brand new hard drive for it. No problem. Game came up, played, calibrated it, everything's cool. Okay, so then I took the IDE hard drive, and people have been telling me to use CloneZilla, which I'm sure works great, but it doesn't work on, you can't make it work while you're running Windows. And I mean, I'm doing this crap with our shop computer that's got all of our stuff on it, you know. So I'm like have Windows up and running while I'm doing it. So I use my good old HDD drive clone, whatever that thing's called, that I've used many times before. I copied the 10 gig drive, then I plugged in the little adapter and the SD card, which is a drive. It was able to see it. It created a perfect copy on that SD card. I used a 32 gig card. You could probably use a 10 gig because or I guess they do, it's either an 8 or a 16. It may fit on an 8 gig. If you look at the partitions on it, there's a partition that's 2 gig, there's a partition that's 1 gig, and then a third partition that's 1 gig. So it's really only about 4 gigs worth of partitions, and then the rest of it just has identified as unallocated space. So I don't know if that means you could put it on a 4 gig SD card, but you very well might be able to, or something fairly small like that. But it's to the point where it doesn't even matter. This 32 gig card, I think, was $10, and it's an official Samsung one. So I had a couple people ask me why we don't use compact flash. We do on some things, but it's my understanding. Leave your comments below if you know better, because I don't know a damn thing about this. It's my understanding that compact flash is slower than SD. Not sure if that's true or not. So we have been able to use compact flash on a lot of the games that we've done in the past, but usually the ones that are actually CPU, like computer based, where they have a motherboard, we haven't been able to get compact flash to work with. So the main one is Area 51 Site 4. We haven't been able to do that. But, like I said, I did the HDD I'll have to look at that again just so I know the exact program that I use. I'm sure there's several of them that you could use. I tried using again, I'm doing it in Windows, but I'm using a DOS window to use the one that's in MAME, the CHDMAN, and it wouldn't work. It couldn't read that whatever. It couldn't make a good copy. So basically, it would do everything and burn a new one, but then whenever you burnt the new one, it wasn't correct. There was something screwed up with it, and the game wouldn't boot. So whatever. But I was able to make one. So I put it on here. Everything's cool. We're up and running. The way it works is there's an in-out board, so I had to work on that too. Basically, the video and this USB cable and this audio cable run over here to this in-out board. We thought we had a problem with it, so we swapped the one out of the other cabinet. But after we did that, we figured out that the problem was the way that thing gets its power is this special card on the CPU. I mean the PC, which runs over to here, which is just some kind of splitter thing. I don't know, but you got to run your power to it. There's a bunch of fans hooked up and stuff too. You got to run your power to it, and then it has this little purple and black wire that plugs in where the reset button is supposed to plug in. I don't know why it's like that, but that's how it is. So this runs the power out the back, and as you can see, also runs the reset line out the back over to the in-out board. So this in-out board must have some way to reset the PC for whatever reason. So, interesting. But the sound plugs in here. It's amplified. You can set different video resolutions on it to go up to the monitor. So we've got the monitor doing its thing. Turn it on and see what we get. I don't even think I'm going to put the DVD drive back in it because it can't be used anyway. And the thing's all screwed up where it doesn't eject the disc. You have to screw around with it to get the disc to eject. But yeah, we've been wanting to make a solid state target terror for a while now. This is cool. Loading. Please wait. Version 2.12, which is the last one. The monitor cap kit brought it back to life, so got lucky there. Now, it has the weirdest attract mode. It sits on that screen for just a second, and then it starts the video running like this. So I'm going to have to play all the way through it, though, just to make sure that it doesn't hang somewhere or something. But it seems to move just as smooth as a regular hard drive. So cool. So the next thing we have to do is we have to fix these two guns. So, as you see, I've already got some parts out. We're going to work on them a little bit and figure out what's going on. All right. Looks like we got it going. One of the guns, the plug was unplugged inside of it. The other gun, the lens was broken, so... Ooh, no, Joe, what are you doing? It seems to work perfect with that little, Are you killing all the scientists? Oh, that was a terrorist. Why are you killing all the scientists?
Checkpoint 1 clear.
How would they let a terrorist in with the chainsaw? Uh-oh. Joe's on a killing streak. 24 kills confirmed.
Kill streak.
What's going on? We finally finished our target terror. I was filming the proof.
I was going to say, this is a picture.
They're taking a picture of me taking a picture. Okay, so we got it looking pretty good. That's one down, one to go. What do you think? I think it came out pretty nice. We saved one from the scrapyard. Can you believe that? So what did it cost us? It was, we got the game pretty cheap. I don't really want to say what we paid for it, but we got it at an auction pretty cheap. The monitor we were able to fix with a cap kit, thankfully. We needed a little fan bracket for the motherboard. That was $5 or something. The RAM worked fine. The CPU the processor ended up being fine. The motherboard was fine. The dongles were fine. We did the replacement hard drive, which I think was about $25 for all of that. The guns, we needed a little lens for it, and the other one was unplugged. And then we put some locks on it and stuff. So we got out pretty cheap in fixing this one. But the other one, unfortunately, the motherboard doesn't work. So we're going to have to put a different motherboard in that one. But guess what? We'll film a video of it just so you can see. But yeah, it worked out pretty good. So now we got a nice working game. Took us forever. Took us about a week to fix the thing, messing with it on and off. But it's up and running good. Everything's cool. We can get this out to a customer that'll be very happy with it. So leave your comments below. Let us know what you think. Give us a thumbs up for taking the trouble to film it for you. And you can see all the games we have available for sale on our website. Go to lionsarcade.com to check us out. And you can come by and see us here in Rock Hill as well. Remember, I was just telling you that it took us a week to work on this one. And you might think, oh, it's a long time. Well, we don't work on it non-stop for a week. It was pieces and pieces, for instance. Dun, dun, dun. This game is called The Bane of My Existence. Pretty much got it going, but there's cosmetic problems. We've got it up and running and everything's cool. We've been working on that thing for months. Yeah, I said it. Months. So look for that video coming soon. I'm going to make Joey finish up the cosmetic stuff and we'll finish the video on it. But subscribe to us here on YouTube. Every time we work on something like this, we film a little video and put it up for all of our viewers to watch. We were just talking to a gentleman. I told him I'd give him a shout out. He's in the Philippines. So we got people from all over the place watching us now. We're very happy about that. We get people from Ireland, people from all over Europe, and he's the first person that's told us that he's watching from the Philippines, but I imagine there's probably others as well. So we appreciate that. We see you out there in the Philippines. Leave your comments below, and we will see you on the next video. Target terror.
This is a terrorist.